Hello, hello, hello. Hope everyone is doing well and you're coming in good spirits. So, this is the quarterly plan with me featuring the Clarity Planner, and this is the live launch party, all wrapped up in one in a bow. I am Angela Quijada-Banks, and let's get into it. Okay, so again, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are in the right room if you consistently feel mental chaos, mentally cluttered, and you are looking for ways to have more clarity in your day-to-day life. You are also in the right room if you are constantly looking for ways to self-improve. You like to really look into different ways to better yourself and just overall, you know, looking for ways to stay organized. You're also in the right room if you haven't planned for the upcoming quarter yet or the current quarter that has started. Doesn't matter if it's quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four, all of what you're going to learn here today and get immersed in is going to help you from this quarter, the past quarter, the future quarters, and just really shift the way you may be doing things currently in your planning sessions, if you have a planning session at all. Okay. I know that being a creative, being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, being a professional, being a student can all be overwhelming and exhausting and frustrating, um, and chaotic. So that is kind of why we're here, why I decided to do this, in order to really get into how can we bring some more clarity, be more intentional, and um, be more intentional about our purpose and our goals and break them down from quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. Because the fact of the matter is that we all have 24 hours. However, those 24 hours look differently for everyone, and those 24 hours are not guaranteed. So, with that, what are we going to talk about today? So, we're going to talk about what is the Clarity Planner. How do I personally quarterly plan? And inside the Clarity Plan, so what does it look like? And, put those two and three together, as well as number four, how you can plan with clarity. How can you be more intentional about how you're showing up in your day-to-day life, in your purpose, in your planning, in clarity? So, what is the Clarity Planner? And here we have Diane here, who was a happy customer of the Clarity Planner. Diane is an entrepreneur, and she was really looking to have some self-improvement. She's tried several different types of planners and was very pleasantly surprised and excited about getting her hands on the Clarity Planner. And what she loved about it the most was that she was actually able to get very clear on her day-to-day and weekly goals. So what really is the quarterly planner? That didn't really give us much information. So the Clarity Planner is a unique 3-month organizational tool. So it's a quarterly planner for the creative, cluttered mind. Does that sound like you? Are you creative? Is your mind a little bit cluttered? Mine is every day. So that's, kind of the mindset that I had with developing this, because as you'll see, there's so many different sections in mind with someone who has a very creative and cluttered mind. And, what does that look like on the day-to-day basis? So it is a 3-month organizational tool that combines elements of a traditional planner with specialized features. Its purpose goes beyond merely scheduling tasks and appointments. And here's what it offers. One, it offers enhanced clarity and goal setting. Okay. The Clarity Planner helps individuals gain a clear understanding of their priorities. So this is really huge because if you are struggling with multiple things, when I did, my goal setting and I did like my master list of all the things I want to get done, let me tell you right now, I had over 100 projects, which then, of course, you break down the projects into goals. So we're getting just out of hand at this point. It just gets out of control. Hundreds to 1,000 bigger goals to smaller tasks, and you break it down and it gets out of control. So I was extremely overwhelmed when I first did this. And this means like when I first did this and I didn't ever write anything down. I just kind of kept it in my mind. So this was like some years ago. And I first just did a full master list. And that's really what I would recommend as the first real step. And we'll get more into that later into this call. But, I did that. And I was overwhelmed with all of that because then it's like, how do I prioritize? What is the priority? Because I have all these different things that I really, really, really want to do. And then I come up with new ideas on the spot. So I wanted to have an ever evolving space that I could always write things down, whether that is digitally. And I do have a digital version of the Clarity Planner. Um, and that's at www.angelaquijada-banks.com, or you can look in the links description so you can just check it out. But that was really important. Like, what are these priorities? And then when you have the priorities, you kind of break it down into the quarters, and then you break down those priorities into your months. Specifically, what are you going to work on in April? What are you going to work on in May? What are you going to work on in June? So on and so forth. And then from those specific ones, how do I want to break it down week by week? What are all the things that need to get done? What are all the goals and tasks? And really being clear with myself first and foremost before I can share my vision with others to then bring them into my team and bring them to that vision, so we can make it come to fruition, right? Because it doesn't really matter what all the other elements of the chaotic clutter is until you really streamline and get clear so that way you can bring, those goals that maybe lead to your purpose or fulfillment, aspects of your life that you're really excited about, but you're just losing the momentum because it's too much. It's too all over the place and chaotic. It encourages them to set meaningful goals and take intentional actions toward achieving those goals. Secondly, the Clarity Planner offers control over time and increased productivity. So, whether you're a student, you're a professional, you're an entrepreneur, or just simply someone who wants to make the most out of each day, going back to we all have 24 hours in a day, but every day isn't guaranteed. So, whether you're just simply someone who wants to make the most out of each day, the Clarity Planner can be a game changer for you. It empowers you to take control of your time and live a more purposeful life. And the Clarity Planner is designed for those who seek clarity, productivity, and purpose in their daily lives. Again, is that you? Do you seek clarity, productivity, and purpose in your daily life? Now, it's important to note that I don't mean hyperproductivity because we can get a little carried away, right? Like on the spectrum, we can be like creative and cluttered and not really having the momentum to do anything. And then on the other end, we could be like hyper productive and we're burning out and exhausted. So I think there's a really important balance that needs to be there where we're in harmony with ourselves, with our purpose, and being clear on what we're doing day to day. But also having some space for spontaneity, just kind of going with the flow as well. It just depends on your lifestyle, what really matters to you, what really is your priority. And so that looks differently for everyone. So, how do I quarterly plan? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you into the space with me, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how I plan with the Clarity Planner. Okay, so let's get into it. So, this is the Clarity Planner digital version, and the physical copy looks the exact same. It's a physical copy. You also might hear my cat in the background because Panther loves to tell us all his life story, his soliloquies, and any new things that he has learned. So if you do hear some cat conversation in the background, just know that is Panther. And if you'd like to respond, please send me an email and I will make sure he gets the message. Okay, moving forward. So we do have the Clarity Planner here. And when you first open it up, or if you first pull it up, it's going to be just with one image. So it's going to be one image at a time. It'll be this and then it'll be this. Let me actually go to it. So it's just one. So it will show you like this pretty much. And it says this planner belongs to. I'm going to go back to the 2-page view. And of course, my copyright here. And then we have a master to-do list. So what I do is after I've done, okay, so this depends on whether or not you have fully brain dumped ideas that you've had over a lifetime pretty much or not. Now, if you have not, then, put something in the comments and I can make a video about specifically like a full master list, an actual master list of your entire life or things that you've always wanted to do, but you never put it down to paper. What that really looks like, brain mapping, mind mapping and like all those different, I have a lot of different like tools to use to pretty much organize. I'm also a certified Scrum Master, so I learned a lot of project management and productivity hacks um for anything pretty much. Any projects or goals. So put something in the chat if you would be interested in me to break it down in that way for you. However, right now we're just going to assume that you have like let's just say a vision board. Let's say you have a vision board already, you kind of know like what you want to do, or you have a list of goals somewhere. For me personally, this particular year, I opted out of doing a vision board. I usually do a vision board, but I didn't do it this year. I actually have a running Google Doc and I've pretty much mapped out a lot of what I would like to do more so because, we plan and God laughs. So everything isn't set in stone as we would like for it to be, where we can say this is going to happen at this time, and sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, so I have that list. And once I have all those different things down, I then go here and put my master to-do list. So the reason why I designed it this way is so that way, right when you get the planner, you automatically may, if you're a creative, you probably already have a bunch of things in your mind, regardless if you've written it down already or not, right? So automatically you can go ahead and put it down here. And again, in the digital version, you can use your iPad and you can just write it all out, or in the physical copy, you can actually, physically write it out. And I gave you plenty of space so you can really get in there. And there's 3 pages of it. There's also a blank page here just in case you need extra space again. Okay, right after that, so after you've done all of these, you're then going to categorize those different goals and elements that you put here, your to-do list. You're going to put them here and categorize them into the corresponding life domains. And so I put from your goal list, prioritize and write down up to 3 goals for each corresponding life domain. You can do whatever you want. Okay. You can put 5 goals, you could put 10 goals, but that's going to be overwhelming, which is why I said up to 3 goals. It's going to feel a lot less cluttered, right? Because we're trying to declutter our brain and not then clutter a bunch of our space either. But it feels better and it looks better for us if we are able to just seamlessly see, like for my spiritual practice, I want to read the Bible. I want to have a community. I want to, depends on what it is, right? So for nutrition, For me personally, I would like to up my greens intake because I've been slacking, and that says a lot because I'm a certified holistic health coach, but we're all human and things happen. Family. I would like to have one family event once a week on a Friday, Friday game night, Friday family game night, something like that, self-care, so on and so forth. So I kind of look at the goals that I've put up here, or you might have a running list like I do as well, and you're able to just kind of put it all here. Up to 3 goals for each corresponding life domain within this quarter. This doesn't mean that you don't have it for the other quarter, for your next quarter or the quarter after that. You continuously have 3 months. Okay. So after you're done putting all that together, we have fun and travel, purpose. Then you want to get into the next 3 months at a glance. Okay. So this line is supposed to be for you to put a month in. So you can put, again, depending on when you're viewing this could be October, November, December. And then I put 1 and 2, but you can put up to 4 goals for each month. So I have this here. Using the previous page, plan out your next 3 months by listing your top goals for each month. It is suggested to commit to 1 to 4 goals a month. Why? Because I don't want you to get overwhelmed. That's how we got here in the first place. We want clarity. We don't want the chaos anymore. We don't want the clutter anymore. So we're going to have to change our habits as well. By the way, speaking of habits, a really good book, you probably heard it before, Atomic Habits. I read that book during the pandemic, 2020. I loved it and I highly recommend it. If you are someone that's always setting goals and you want to change some of your habits, I would highly recommend that you look up James Clear and get his book, Atomic Habits. It's really good and it really helped me be more intentional about the habits that I currently have and then how to build habits. I think in the book he calls it habit stacking. So um, build the habits that I want to have. So that's really cool because then you're able to basically also goal stack in a way, right? Because you're like, if you have a goal of, well, you should be brushing your teeth anyway. I was going to say brushing your teeth every day, but you should be doing that anyways. But let's just go with that. Okay. Let's say you have a goal of brushing your teeth every day and flossing, because all of us, I'm pretty sure majority of us do not love flossing. Okay. So you can have a goal of flossing every day. And because you already brush your teeth, you're able to then add in flossing, or you can do flossing first and then you brush your teeth. However you want to do it, tongue scrape and use the Listerine to get that gunk out of your mouth and you have some fresh breath because you don't want to be talking to people and it's other than fresh. We'll leave it at that. So next, you want to get into uh these next 2 pages. So this is how it looks also again in the physical planner, but also in the digital planner. The digital planner, again, it's going to just show you the single page view. And that's okay. You just, scroll to get to the next one. Or you can also have the digital page, the digital version of this planner and do what Sharon did. And what Sharon did, and I'll show you who Sharon is later. But she is a business owner. She's very accomplished, an incredible woman. And what she did is she got the digital planner because she ended up being in a different state, but she still wanted access to the Clarity Planner, her physical planner, which was in another state. And she actually downloaded it and printed it off and got it binded herself. I don't remember. I think it was at FedEx or something. So that's another option. You could certainly just get the digital version and then go and bind it yourself. So you can put your own cover and your own stuff on there. So keep in mind about that as well. Definitely an option. So here, you just fill in the numbers. And the reason why I wanted to do this, by the way, was because I didn't want it to be a situation where you miss a month and now you feel like you can't use the planner at all. Or you missed the whole quarter. Maybe you were intentional, was like, well, I got the planner, but then you didn't actually use it for the quarter, but you want to use it for the next quarter. Now you're not married to that situation because there's no numbers and dates. You put in the numbers and dates and you circle the months. So it's a very flexible, very fluid planner. And again, really trying to focus on helping you get that clarity. So in this section, you're going to put in this month's priorities, which again, you're able to really see from your 3 months at a glance section. So you want to put your priorities again. You don't want to load up the priorities. Um, you know, you can separate your priorities where it's like the business priorities and your home life priorities. And then I also created right here a section for goals and intentions. So that way the priorities aren't bogged down. You can, again, keep it up to 4, but then you can also add as many goals that you want to support those priorities, or just a separate goal or intention that you have that aren't related to the priorities. And who do you need to stay in contact with this month? So what I love to do here again is just kind of think about the people that I may have had every intention to want to connect with them. And unfortunately, I just haven't been able to connect with them. So let's be more intentional. Okay. Let's be more intentional about our personal and professional relationships. And we put down to call. So I'll put, for me, I put my grandma, but Nana, and then to text, to email. And when are we going to do it? Is it going to be this Saturday? Is it going to be next Wednesday? Is it going to be 3 Thursdays from now? We need to get clear because otherwise it's not going to happen. Okay. Meal ideas. Sometimes I just have meal ideas or cravings on things, but I'm like doing something else. So it's really nice to have that element there so I can just put that in there. And then to buy. Okay. First of all, low key, I shouldn't even have that in there because I don't need to be buying, little to a lot of anything else. I feel like, and this is a whole other soapbox, and I'm gonna get off of it as soon as I get on it, which is just that, you know, I just feel like consumerism is out of control. And not that I'm a minimalist, but I just, I'm trying to be more intentional. So maybe not the best thing to put on there about to buy, but either ways, it's there. And it's helpful for me because I do think about things here and there, like even if it's hygiene items, like I'm about to run out of toothpaste and I can put toothpaste. Um, I'm craving some yogurt. I want to put yogurt. So, things like that. I feel like it's been really helpful. And it's a good prompter because I can just go back to the page and be like, yeah, that's what I wanted to get. And then again, go back when we get into the weekly things, we can then put that in the weekly plan. Travel plans, I'm always trying to take a flight. Okay. I love adventure. I'm an adventure girly 100%. So if you have a travel plan, then you really want to be reminded of that, right? Or, even if it's like it's a plan and you haven't actually, or a thought or a goal, but you haven't really like taken the time to plan it out, you can still put that there as like want to go to Hawaii or something like that, or birthday trip. I should think about that, like things that will prompt you to go back to it because life is kind of out of control sometimes. And it's nice to kind of have those reminders of things. On like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have that trip, or I want to experience this type of a trip um in December or in the new year. And then of course notes. So we're going to move on to the weekly aspect of the planner. Again, I absolutely love this. And what I do is I have my urgent tasks, which again, I can look at my priorities. I can really break it down in another area, like for instance, Google Docs. I also love to use Asana. Asana is a productivity tool as well. Um, there's a lot of them. There's Airtable, there's GitHub, that's mainly for like techies. Um, but like there's a lot of different ones. There's Trello, but you can really break down your priorities or break down your goals and intentions and then come here and really see, okay, what is it? in my first week, in my second week, in my third week, in my fourth week that I really need to focus on for this month. And that's what you put on urgent tasks. Or also, if there's just an urgent task that you really need to get done that you haven't been doing. So urgent tasks like you really need to, going back to the teeth, but you really need to make a dentist appointment. Then you're going to need to put that in the urgent task because that's kind of urgent. Usually happen. And other things, all kinds of other things. Let's get those urgent tasks in there so we can get them done. We can focus on that. We can be clear about what needs to get done and get it done. Another element in the weekly plan is the self-care plan. So the self-care plan is all about, your mental health, your body care, your spiritual health, your financial intentions. So how I plan with that is I like to be very intentional about my self-care. And some of you do know, but from 2022 to now 2024, not sure when everyone is going to be watching this, but right now, my husband was in an accident, and so I became his caregiver. And no matter how badly I wanted to really focus on my self-care, I had very limited time, and it was rough as far as like trying to fit in my self-care. So I now am very excited that I'm able to really focus in on that. And this is how the Clarity Planner was born into and created. It was created in that element of like, okay, what do I really need to be focusing on for myself? Because this is kind of like really wild as far as that I'm a caregiver shifting from entrepreneurship. And it just kind of like, I feel like it just shifted the way that I think about things a lot. And it gave me confidence in a lot of different areas. But I also have been very intentional about my self-care now that my husband is feeling a lot better and it is doing a lot better. So, my mental health, I've, still found ways, even in the past couple of years, with dealing with all those things. As a caregiver, I definitely still found ways to support my mental health, my body care, my spiritual health, and my financial intention, just not to the level that I would have liked. So this is really important and really powerful because you're able to really see for the week, what are you doing for each element of your self-care plan? For mental health, you could be, you scheduled um, a girls' chat with one of your best friends, or you're having a girls' day with, you know, some of your good friends, or therapy. Body care, you could be soaking in the bathtub. You could get yourself a massage. I mean, there's so many different things, but just being able to have the space to really be intentional about what does your self-care plan really look like and prioritizing that. That was something, even though, again, I was really strapped for time, my schedule was not my own. I was really able to be intentional about this, and it really helped me, I think, in all areas to really focus in on really trying to take care of me, even though I very much was struggling to find the time and find the energy and find the space. So on other aspects, priorities for this week. Priorities for this week is all about, again, what are your priorities? So we can go back to here, the priorities and goals and intentions, and then really make sure you focus in on your priorities for that week. And then you break that down to about, 2 to 3 things for every day. And I love to do like a scripture of intention or a quote for the week. And in that, just really be able to just kind of think about it, and maybe I screenshot it and make it into my, what's that called? Screensaver for the day. Not for the day, for the week. So I'm like really intentional about seeing that, or seeing the quote, seeing the scripture, and or talking to different people about that particular scripture that I put down for the week. So the other element that I really enjoy with the Clarity Planner is the brain dump page. Because as I said earlier, as I shared, my brain gets out of control as far as like the clutter and creativity. And I'm just like, oh, this idea, this idea, this idea. And it's so fun, but it's also can get out of control, so out of control. Um, I will spend hours just brain dumping things. And having this page is so helpful for me because I would literally just grab loose leaves of paper, just like blank sheets of paper and just kind of like brain dump and put everything on there for my life, for my business, for, career, for financial goals, for like all these different things. And now it's all in one place. And I know that this happened during a particular quarter and it's nice to go back and see. I just love it. So that's what I use the brain dump page for. And honestly, what I use this page for, so it's week of, and you're supposed to put, the two numbers for the month and then two numbers for that week, starting on the Sunday. And what I honestly use this for is I don't actually put this in here because, as I said, I use Google Calendar. I don't put like, after I put it here, I don't then put it here. What I actually like to use it for is like almost like an accountability thing. So if I know my intention, go back up here, my goal and intention, let's say, was to drink water and to really be more focused on my health and wellness, then I might go in with a green highlighter. Let's say I point that to be green. And I might highlight, hey, from 6 a.m. until 9 a.m., I spent time on just self-care, which that sounds really great. I got to get up early again because right now I haven't been waking up joyfully at 6 a.m. I haven't been necessarily angry either, but you get the point. Anyway, so let's just say that, right? So let's just say 6 to 8 or 7 to 8. Then I can highlight it green and then I know that I'm working 9 to 12 or whatever the time I'm taking my lunch. So that's a green. And then 2 to 4 or whatever I'm working. And this is more like, professionals giving you a example, 2 to 5, 2 to 4. And then after that, I can put 6 to 8 is green because I'm taking care of myself. I'm really focused on my health. And then I have bedtime. So you can do a different color. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, it might be that from 6 to 10 a.m., you decide to work on your business. And then 10 to 2, you're like, I'm taking a break. And so you put in green from 10 to 2 to focus on your health and your self-care and so on and so forth. And if you're a student, it might be Wednesdays that you have classes, and classes are orange highlighters. So you do 10 to 12 is orange highlighter, and then 3 to 5 is orange highlighter. And so basically you are color coding this week of schedule and really being able to see your entire week and see where you spent your time. That can be very powerful because then once you're highlighting these different elements, and you can look at, what you projected on on your Google Calendar, what actually happened, and then be able to, basically take a time audit is what I'm talking about here is you're able to take a time audit on what exactly you are spending your time on doing and does it match up with your goals and intentions. Really powerful because then at this point we have the weekly reflection. So you can put your notes about what you discovered here from doing that, from being very intentional and taking your time and being like, okay, so this is where I'm spending my time, but I really want to spend my time doing X. Hmm. Right. So we can put that over here. So it's like, I'm grateful for something I'm proud of myself for, people I'd like to connect with next week. So maybe you wanted to spend more of your time, um, spending your time with your mom, spending time with your friends. So you want to be more intentional about that. With your water intake, did you meet your goal? Yes or no? There's no like kind of, sometimes, no, I didn't. So I need to figure out how I can really meet my goal to stay hydrated this time. And then next week I look forward to and the notes and reminders. So that's pretty much what the planner is consists of, and we have that for every week. And then we also have a monthly review. So how I plan with the monthly review is I really like to take my time and think about some of my favorite memories from this month. And I can go back to my Google Calendar. I can go back to the time audit that I shared here. I can go back to maybe my brain dumps that I was thinking about. Um, and you're just really able to be intentional about thinking about all the amazing things, the favorite memories, the beautiful moments that you had during that past month. And then how are you doing with your yearly slash your seasonal goals? And you can pick whichever one. Maybe you want to talk about the yearly goals one month, and the next one you want to talk about the seasonal one. What would I like to work on next month? So again, just being really intentional, do more of, or do less of. And so that's pretty much what this planner consists of here. And then we get all the way to the bottom. And we are at the Clarity 3-month check-in, basically the end of the quarter. And it's a beautiful time to really think about what were your top accomplishments from this quarter. I don't think genuinely, I don't think that we celebrate ourselves enough. And I don't think that we really take our time to marvel and be excited about like what we're creating, what we're doing in the world, what we've been a part of, the impact that we're creating. Sometimes we can just kind of like, get into the flow and get into the hustle and the bustle of life, and then we're on to the next thing and the next accomplishment, the next one. So this is here to be intentional, to really think about what have been your top accomplishments. And the accomplishments is an interesting word, but I really mean here, not necessarily that you graduated from something or you did anything really big, but maybe an accomplishment for you is that you slept on time for 8 hours plus this particular quarter or a particular month. Beautiful. Okay. That is goals. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get my sleep together right now. That would be an accomplishment for me. So just really think about it, and really, if you can't really think of anything, definitely talk to your friends, talk to people around you that are connected with you, and they will definitely give you some ideas about what you've accomplished genuinely in the past quarter. And there's some other questions here. How can I be a better version of me? Again, just really time to just sit and think about it and write about it. Um, and one of the things I really love is how can I make the next 3 months even better? How can you make the next quarter even better than this last one? What were the lessons that you learned in the past 3 months that you can now apply and be like, I'm going to make it even better because I learned this, this, and this. Who did you enjoy being around? Who do you want to be around more in the next 3 months? So anyway, I hope that at the very least, this got you thinking about your own planning and your own ways of gaining clarity for your goals, gaining clarity for your projects and your day-to-day life. And if you really enjoyed this, then please leave a thumbs up, and let's keep going. So we're on the notes section here, and that is at the end of the planner. Again, you can grab yours at www.angelaquijada-banks.com, which is in the link in the description. And I'll see you back at the presentation in just a second. All right, we are back. So, guys, that is how I quarterly plan. And we did take a look inside the Clarity Planner. This is Sequoia, and she is an entrepreneur, a solopreneur. And she was really focused in on, again, having all this mental clutter and chaos, really trying to figure out how to clear it all. And with the Clarity Planner, she was able to do just that. So, my question to you is how can you begin to plan with more clarity? So, I wanted to share this with you because these are some of the elements that I've shared in the video, but just kind of like really clear, and you can take a screenshot here. But you can quarterly plan with more clarity with one, having a running document. So that can look like anything, but I would suggest probably a digital version so that way it doesn't get lost, burned, um, left behind, pet pees on it. I mean, there's so much that it could happen. A kid throws up on it. Um, so for me, I use Google Docs, but I really want to get into Notion. So, comment below if you know about Notion and like you're a fan of Notion because I'm gonna need those tips. Two, narrow down to up to 4 items per quarter. Now, this is really hard for me. I think I just get really excited energy and like I really want to do like all the things, actually like 10 things in one quarter or 10 things in 1 month, to be honest. But I'm constantly having to just like calm the chaos by putting it in my running document. I have a section in my running document that I just continuously put, you know, ideas and to-dos and things like that. I'd also recommend, again, Asana. I use Asana as well, and it just really helps me stay clear. And when I get something super exciting and I have all the energy to do it in that moment, go ahead and put that in my list because we're not about to start a whole new project in the middle of, the three I have already committed to for the quarter. So, anyways, we're gonna move on. So three, pick up to four of the items for the upcoming quarter to focus on. So you want to narrow it down to 4 items per quarter, and then from those items, you are breaking it down just like we did in the planner in each month. 3 months in each quarter, and there's 4 quarters in 1 year. So pick up to four of the items for the upcoming quarter to focus on. You're going to have to figure out a way to really be diligent in your process of elimination. And then you want to break them down to weekly and daily tasks. Let me know if you want a video about that in the comment section. I'll be happy to put that together for you guys because it's what I do on a day-to-day basis, literally what I do on a day-to-day basis. But the Clarity Planner wouldn't have existed if I didn't do this, right? This whole presentation wouldn't have existed if I didn't do this. So, think about what's really important to you and prioritize it. So here's some praise for the Clarity Planner. I mentioned Sharon earlier. Sharon, she is a business owner and she says the Clarity Planner is amazing. Everything I have had in my head is now down on paper, clearly viewable with the different items the Clarity Planner sets before one to look at and make note of. And so, as I said earlier, Sharon actually downloaded the Clarity Planner. And so she was showing her download. As you can see, she poked holes in there so that way she could have it in her way that she binded it up. And so this is Stephanie. Stephanie is a student, and she said, this Clarity Planner is beautiful and unique. It allowed me to spend time with myself and reflect on life. It has benefited me on being intentional on what I have and where I want to go. Prior to the Clarity Planner, I would just forget about my week and what I've done, and now I am able to spend time alone to write about it and learn more about myself. And we have a Diane, who's a solopreneur, and she said, well done on a lovely planner. This is a good nervous system / neural repatterning. Being able to check things off the list and feeling satisfied with progress. Who are my list checkers? Side note, okay, because I love checking things off the list. I have literally written things in just so I could check the box. I have literally created the box to check. So I have you covered, okay? As you saw in the planner, that it's in there because that's what I need to. This is a clarity planner that gives me clarity on how my energy can be used. Having a holistic planner is key because we are multidimensional beings. I could not agree more, Diane. Prayer and self-care should rank as high on our priorities as making money and doing business. Absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, I was an entrepreneur and I guess I still am an entrepreneur. I was talking to my coach actually, and she was like, "You can't say you're not an entrepreneur. Like you never are not." I mean, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18. But the reality is that I got burned out for multiple reasons. And it was because I didn't put self-care and my health as a priority. I definitely just ranked my business and the impact of other people, which, it sounds good, but I put that before my own health and well-being and self-care. And so I think moving forward, as I am rediscovering and understanding and getting clarity on um, what business looks like for me, because I love business, I am being more intentional about what does my self-care and health, holistic health really look like for me, which is again why in the Clarity Planner we have a whole self-care plan section. Okay, so, if you feel like it is time to clarify your mental clutter and chaos, then the Clarity Planner is definitely here for you at angelaquijada-banks.com. It's again www.angelaquijadabanks.com, or just click the link in the description. You'll be able to grab your digital copy today. And yeah, I hope that this has been helpful for you. If it has, again, leave me a like so I know that you like content like this and this was helpful. And I just really want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching and subscribe to my channel for more content around this productivity, purpose, holistic health, self-care, um, and so many other things. As Diane shared, we are multi-dimensional beings, and I am discovering, what exactly do I like to create right now in this time? And of course, it will evolve over time as well. But I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Well, I just wanted to say thank you again. It's actually midnight right now, believe it or not. Um, but yeah, I appreciate your support and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace. Oh yeah, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I don't know what you're doing, but if it's not subscribing, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe button. Anyway, I need to go to bed.